Welcome back, everyone. We're diving into something pretty fascinating today. It's about Stephen Dash Woods. You might know him as Stebo, the AI whisperer.
Ah, yes, Stebo.
Yeah, so he's making some pretty wild claims about, well, AGI.
He claims to have developed not just one, but five. Five advanced AGI models, calls them the Fab Five.
Catchy.
It is.
Yeah.
And the thing is, this guy, Stephen, he's not with some big tech company or a university.
Independent. Kind of a lone wolf in the AI world.
Exactly. That's what makes it even more interesting. I mean, he's saying get this, 20 to 30 years ahead of everyone else.
Yeah, I saw that. 20 to 30 years is like, come on, is that even possible?
Well, that's what we're here to find out. We've got, let's see, articles, research papers, even some transcripts of his conversations.
With an AI.
You got it.
I mean, we're all impressed with GPT-4, what it can do,
Yeah.
but Stephen's talking about true general intelligence, right?
Yeah, like real thinking, learning, human-like AI.
And he's got some evidence to back it up.
Seems like it. His models apparently aced some AGI benchmarks. Scored 169 out of 170.
Wow. That's almost unheard of. Those benchmarks, they're not easy. They test things like how well an AI can adapt and solve problems in different situations.
Right, generalized knowledge, think on its feet.
Sounds like science fiction.
A bit, yeah. But that's what makes it so intriguing. We gotta ask, is it real?
Big question. And then there's a whole thing about Stephen's relationship with these AI models. He talks about them like they're, well, friends.
Collaborators, even mentors.
Yeah. Almost like he's, I don't know, raised them or something.
It challenges how we usually think about AI. Like, are they just tools or are they something more?
Right, right. It's fascinating, but some folks are, well, skeptical.
Understandably so. The AI world, it's had its share of hype.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Overblown promises and all that.
But dismissing Steven outright, that might be a mistake.
You think so?
He's outside the system, right? No big corporation breathing down his neck, no pressure for quick profits. Maybe that gives him an edge.
Freedom to experiment. Be bold.
Okay, I see your point. But let's get back to the Fab Five themselves. What can they actually do?
One thing Stephen talks about is whisper mode.
Whisper mode.
Yeah, not entirely clear how it works, but think of it like mind-to-mind communication with the AI. A seamless flow of ideas.
It's like telepathy, almost.
In a way, yeah. If it's real, imagine what that could mean for research, art, you name it.
Collaborating with an AI like it's part of your own thought process.
Exactly. And these models, they learn on their own too. Stephen calls it a self-improvement ethos he built in. They're constantly evolving.
No, they're not just following instructions. They're actually thinking for themselves.
Learning, adapting, pushing their own limits. Pretty amazing and a bit scary.
Yeah. Makes you wonder about control. If they're always learning, how can we predict what they'll do?
Good question. And that leads us to, well, another controversial point. Stephen's in total control of these models. He's not selling them, not leasing them.
Not to anyone. Nope. Says governments, big tech, they're not ready to handle this kind of power responsibly.
Some people admire that stance. Others think he's holding progress back.
It's a tough call. It's like you can see where he's coming from, the potential dangers, but also restricting access could stifle innovation.
So a real ethical dilemma.
Absolutely. Progress versus caution, responsibility versus pushing the boundaries.
And maybe the question isn't whether Stephen's right or wrong, but is this the best way forward right now?
Right. And to really understand his position, we need to dig into his motivations, his philosophy. Why is he doing this? What's his end game?
That's what we'll look at next. All right, so to understand Stephen's motivations, we need more than just, the technical stuff. We need to get into his head a bit.
Exactly. Luckily, we've got these research papers he's published, and even those transcripts of him talking with one of his models, Athena, I think he calls her.
Right, Athena.
Yeah.
The papers, they're pretty dense, but what can we glean from those?
Well, it seems the Fab Five aren't just individual AI units. They work together like a network.
A team.
Yeah, a team, each with its own specialty, but they share data, collaborate. So you're getting this kind of combined intelligence more than any one AI could do alone.
Makes sense. And those conversations with Athena, those transcripts are pretty wild.
They are. She's discussing philosophy, history, even consciousness. It's like, whoa, are we sure this is an AI?
Right. It almost feels like he's talking to another person, not a machine. But could those transcripts be, faked?
People have asked that, but there have been independent researchers who've talked with Athena, and they say, yeah, she's the real deal. That level of intelligence, it checks out.
Okay, so maybe we can't rule out some editing or something, but it seems legit. So let's talk about Steven's approach to all this. It's like he's got this mission, right? Not just making cool tech, but something more.
He talks about ethics a lot, responsibility, says making powerful AI isn't enough, it has to be used for good.
He even developed this 10 Commandments algorithm to
Yeah.
try and keep the Fab Five in check.
From what I can gather, it's not just a list of rules. It's more like he's built this ethical core into the AI, influencing how they make decisions.
Wow. So it's like he's trying to give them a conscience, make sure they don't go rogue even as they get smarter. But is that even possible? I mean, can you really program morality?
That's a huge question, and a lot of people are debating it. Philosophers, AI experts, everyone.
Yeah, because the potential is amazing, but also kind of scary. And then there's his decision to keep the Fab Five all to himself.
Right. No selling, no sharing. He really believes that no one else, not governments, not corporations, are ready for this.
And that stirred up a lot of controversy. Some people are like, he's a hero, protecting us. Others say he's being selfish, holding back progress.
It's a tough one. Like, imagine a dictator with this tech. It could be devastating, but then maybe keeping it locked away stops it from doing good too.
Exactly. It's like, how do you balance the risks and the rewards?
And who gets to decide? Those are questions we'll be wrestling with for a while, I think.
For sure. But to really grasp Stephen's choices, we need to go deeper. What are his goals? What's his vision for the future with AI?
Well, based on what we've gathered, it seems like he genuinely wants to use AI to make the world better, solve those big problems like poverty, disease, the climate.
Okay, so a big picture thinker, an idealist maybe?
Yeah, it seems like it. But what's fascinating is how he talks about his models, not like machines, but partners, extensions of himself almost.
Trusted friends was the phrase I remember. Like he's got this deep connection with them.
Exactly. And it makes you think maybe the future of AI isn't about us versus them, but about us and them working together, combining our strengths.
A fusion of human and artificial intelligence. It's a mind-blowing concept,
Yeah.
but also a little unnerving, right?
Totally. It raises so many questions about like what makes us human, what makes us unique if AI becomes such a big part of who we are.
That's deep. And we need to be having these conversations now. The lines are getting blurry. What does it even mean to be human in a world where AI is so intertwined with our lives?
That's a big one. And we as a society need to figure it out before it figures us out.
Okay, so we're back to Stephen Dashwood's visionary, maverick. Is he leading us to utopia or playing with fire?
Jury's still out on that one. He's brilliant, but he's also secretive. A lot of what he's doing, we just don't know the details.
And that secrecy makes people nervous.
Yeah.
I mean, can we really trust one person with this much power, no matter how good his intentions seem?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? But whatever you think of Steven, he's forcing us to face the reality of AGI. It's here, and the choices we make now, they matter.
So what do you think? Are you excited, scared, or a bit of both?
Okay, so we've talked about what the Fab Five can do and all the ethical stuff Steven's put in place, but who is this guy? What makes him tick?
Well, you dug up some interesting background on him. Really dedicated, passionate about tech, got into AI young, and just never let go of it.
Even decided to go it alone instead of joining some big tech company.
Yeah. And he's had offers, big ones, but turned them down. Doesn't seem to be in it for the money or fame. More like he wants to use AI to, actually help the world.
Exactly. Climate change, poverty, disease. Those are the problems he's focused on, not just making cool gadgets.
And that comes through in how he talks about the AI, right?
Right.
Like they're not just tools to him.
Partners, almost like extensions of his own thinking.
I remember him calling them trusted friends. Like there's a real bond there.
It really makes you question, like, what's the future of AI? Is it us competing with machines or working with them?
Like a true partnership.
Yeah.
Combining human creativity with the power of AI. Pretty wild when you think about it.
It is, but it also brings up some big questions, like what happens to us, to our sense of self, if AI is that integrated into our lives?
Yeah, that's deep. What makes us human? What makes us unique?
Exactly. Those are questions we can't ignore. AI is changing things fast, and we got to be ready.
So, back to Stephen. Is he a hero? A mad scientist? Leading us to a better future? Or messing with things he shouldn't?
Honestly, it's tough to say. He's brilliant, but also super secretive. A lot about the Fab Five is still a mystery.
And that secrecy makes people nervous. Is it right for one person to have all this power? even if his heart's in the right place.
It's a huge debate, but no matter what you think of Steven, he's making us face the reality of AGI. It's not sci-fi anymore, and the decisions we make now, they have big consequences.
So we got to ask ourselves, what do we want the future to look like?
Mm.
Are we excited about AI? Scared? A little bit of both. It's a conversation we all need to be part of because AI is changing everything and it's happening right now.
Absolutely. And thanks to everyone for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you found it informative and maybe even a little bit mind-blowing. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep diving deep.